They will not leave disappointed. This guy is unique, special, and we are privileged to be here today.
There are two things harming Cooper Flagg's rookie season. The first is the train wreck that is the Dallas Mavericks. The Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis trade, one of the wildest trades of the last 25 years, left Dallas with a roster full of talent, creating the illusion that Flagg can walk right into the roster and continue the stretch of successful basketball created by Doncic. Only that didn't happen. The opposite happened, with Dallas and their current glut of forwards being an imperfect fit, and the architect of the Doncic trade, Nico Harrison, losing his job just 3 weeks into the season. As for Davis, the key return in that trade, he's been hurt and thrown into trade rumors, as a contract extension looms in the distance. The second is the generational label that was attached to Flagg in high school. The transition from high school to college was a breeze, but Flagg, an 18-year-old forward, the transition to the NBA has been steep. Still, I see plenty of positives for Flagg moving forward. Positives that translate into a multi-time All-Star and maybe even an All-NBA pro. The most interesting thing about Flagg is the defense. At 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan, Flagg has shown the ability to not only be a viable on-ball defensive threat, but his versatility shines as a rookie. So far this season, Flagg ranks in the 54th percentile in defensive EPM, thanks in part to ranking in the 71st percentile in terms of defensive rebounding and 73rd percentile in steals per dunks and threes. His versatility allows him to shuffle on the perimeter with smaller guards and quell rugged forwards in the post. But even the ancillary skills on defense, like pick-and-roll coverage, off-ball detail, and weak-side shot blocking, has flashed. Flagg has all the tools to be an elite defender, one the Mavericks could build around for the foreseeable future. Offensively, Flagg is much more of a mixed bag. It starts with the shooting. After shooting 38% from the outside in his lone season at Duke, Flagg is shooting 25% from the outside, good for the 13th percentile per cleaning the glass. The shooting and turnovers, where Flagg is teetering with 2.3 turnovers per 36 minutes, are the biggest areas of weaknesses in his offensive profile. On the other side, Flagg is nearly unstoppable at scoring at the rim. So far, Flagg is shooting 54% on his two-point shots, good for the 78th percentile, but at the rim, Flagg is shooting 79% and a solid 44% on shots from 3 to 10 feet. Once he gets more comfortable and stronger, those 3 to 10 feet shots will turn into rim attempts, which should lead to easier finishes and, more importantly, more free throws. The generational label was always going to hurt Flagg, but I'm seeing an all-NBA talent here. The passing, once moved into more of a secondary role, has been great. The defense is encouraging, and his ability to finish at the rim has been excellent. The Dallas Mavericks got lucky acquiring Cooper Flagg after trading Luka Doncic. Now, they have to get things right in order to truly build around one of the top prospects in the NBA. The Washington Wizards are terrible. A league-worst 2-16 record with the 28th ranked offense and 30th ranked defense. There's certainly more questions than answers when it comes to Washington's future and the players that will get them out of this current funk. That said, I would like to think Tre Johnson could be one of the players that can offer a lending hand in fixing the franchise. As Keshawn George and Alex Sarr continue to blossom into lead actors, I find myself wondering what archetypes fit around them, and I think Johnson's offensive mindset could be one that makes sense. Currently out with a strained left hip flexor, Johnson will miss time on the floor.
They look like
Still, I'm curious to see what his long-term future looks like,
size,
and how he game has settled
they've
in
got
with the Wizards so
leadership, they've got toughness.
Coming out of Texas,
JB is
Johnson
doing a
was
great
viewed
job.
as a
Now, they
guard
have not played a
prospect with
tough
the skill set
schedule.
of a scorer.
And the Nets come away with it.
Nearly 20 games into his professional career, and nothing has changed since moving to the nation's capital. Johnson is averaging 11.5 points and shooting nearly
Nice
40%
stop
from
and
the outside.
hesitation there by Tre. That's a
His
bit.
39.2% shooting from the outside places Johnson
Nice straight
in the
game. Alex
72nd
Sarr with 2+
percentile among
blocks.
shooters, while his
Longest active
47.2%
streak right now in the
shooting
NBA.
from the mid-range ranks in the 71st percentile, which fits that scorer profile. I'm cautious about Johnson's game from there. The first is the true lack of rim attempts. Only 9% of Johnson's shot attempts are at the rim, per cleaning the glass, slotting him in the 7th percentile. While a solid athlete, Johnson doesn't possess that elite blow-by speed to get to the rim, which could be a concern for the long term. The passing is also poor as well, with Johnson in the 2nd percentile at 8.0%. The defense is nondescript at best. Johnson is good at chasing on defense, but could get lost navigating screens. He doesn't generate many steals and blocks, just 13 total on the season, and he offers nothing in terms of rim deterrence. If Johnson is going to separate himself from microwave scorers of the past, he'll have to both improve as a defender and find a way to impact the defensive side of the ball. I'm holding on to the Tre Johnson stock for now, and I'm curious to see what happens in the second half of the season. The Wizards have seen Keshawn George take a step forward from a 3-and-D threat to a legitimate all-around forward this past season, while Alex Sarr made huge changes from year 1 to year 2, trading in multiple outside shots for shots closer to the rim and ramped him his defense. Can Johnson be the next Wizard to break out? The answer is somewhere in on-ball reps. Allowing Johnson to run the offense for stretches and see what he looks like in the pick and roll could be key for his future. For now, Johnson is a rookie hopeful for the Wizards, and the shooting has translated. To get out of this current funk and find pieces to build around, however, the Wizards are going to need a little bit more from the most recent lottery pick. The Memphis Grizzlies are a team in transition. Franchise forward Jaren Jackson Jr. has solidified himself as a top 30 player in the league, while franchise guard Ja Morant seems to be outs with the organization. With a litany of young players and draft picks over the next few seasons, Memphis will have to figure if they want to salvage this current iteration of Grizzlies basketball or look to start anew and remodel the franchise. Whatever happens there, look for Cedric Coward to be a critical piece in the next steps of Grizzlies basketball. The first thing you notice with Coward is his size. At 6'6" with a 7'2" wingspan at 215 pounds, Coward is a bear on the floor, which makes for a versatile weapon on the defensive side of the ball. So far, Coward ranks in the 63rd percentile in defensive EPM, a great rate for a rookie. While he doesn't generate a ton of blocks and steals, Coward makes up with that with his basketball IQ and rebounding ability, where Coward ranks in the 92nd percentile in defensive rebounding and 97th percentile in offensive rebounding per cleaning the glass. The offense looks electric. Coward is currently sporting a true shooting percentage of 60% while shooting 37% from the outside. The ability to shoot nearly 70% at the rim, good for the 67th percentile, and nearly 40% from 3, gives him the ability to be an effective piece, whether his future lies as an ancillary offensive piece or one with the ball in his hands and initiating more offense. Coward has all the makings of a Sean Marion-type player that most teams crave for in today's NBA. Defensively, Coward feels like a malleable piece that can handle large swaths of minutes at power forward, while also being capable of stepping onto the perimeter of wrecking havoc upon ball handlers. There are shades of Draymond Green here, but I'll play it safe and compare him more to Marion, who was one more of versatile defenders of his time. The Memphis Grizzlies still have things to sort through over the next 3 months, including their overall direction moving forward. One thing is for certain, Cedric Coward is a key piece in whatever the Grizzlies want to do next, and the quicker he reaches his ceiling, the better Grizzlies will be on both sides of the ball.